Yes, ma'am. Venturing through the valley, and I should
Ah,
begin
through the valley.
through the valley. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay. It had me a bit confused there.
No, no worries, no worries, no worries. So, firstly, what is the valley? The valley speaks of experiences in life where, we face disappointment, we face depression, anxiety, fear, suicidal thoughts, and so forth. And these are the places in life that are so challenging, and there are many people who are going through the valley moments and valley experiences right now. So, I think it's important that we discuss how to navigate the valley, how to venture through the valley. Number one, the valley isn't always visible. Sometimes externally it looks like you're on the mountaintop, it looks like you're winning, but internally you're in a valley, you're battling. And because it looks like you're winning, nobody even thinks of checking, on how you really are, how you're really doing. And there are many people who suffer in silence as they navigate their personal valleys. They cry in the darkness, but they smile in the light. They are praised publicly, but they are privately dying. And the unseen battle is so dangerous because if no one sees you battling, if no one sees the battle, no one will come to your aid. And so you end up fighting alone. And that's where a lot of people are right now. And some choose not to make that battle visible because they believe no one really cares. So we must be careful of assuming that people are okay and that all is fine just because externally it looks like they're fine. We need to make it a point to check up on people and make it clear that they can talk to us, make it clear to them that we care about them. Because no matter how strong people seem to be or how good it looks internally, they may be going through a valley. So, number one, the valley isn't always visible. Number two, the valley is a place of discovery. None of us desire to be in the valley. We don't want to be lonely. We don't want to be lacking financially. We don't want to be heartbroken. But sometimes it is in that valley that you discover who you really are. You may discover just how strong you are because of valley experience. You may discover that you've got entrepreneurial skills because you find yourself having to start your own business after losing a job. You may discover that you are more resilient than you thought and that you have what it takes to make it despite the disappointment that you faced. You may discover that you have more discipline, more courage, and more talents than you thought. In the valley, you can also discover who your true friends are. Everybody loves you and celebrates you when you're on the mountaintop. But when you're in the valley, that's when you discover who really is for you. So, number two, the valley is a place of discovery. Number three, the valley is a place of victory. Many times we think that the victory happens when we reach the mountaintop, but truthfully, the victory is in the valley. It is the giant that you slay in the valley that gives you the courage and the right to occupy the mountaintop. The mountaintop is a place of celebration, but the valley is a place of altercation. And when you have gone through the altercation, you that's when you get to celebrate. No champion gets a championship belt without having gone through a fight. So don't despise the fight. The fight is your opportunity for promotion. You also get to appreciate the mountaintop a lot more when you've been through the valley. You appreciate wealth much more when you've been broke. You appreciate your spouse much more when you've been alone and lonely. You appreciate your kids much more when you've been told by doctors that you might never have children. So, number three, the valley is a place of victory. Number four, and lastly, the valley is a place of various voices. When you're in the valley, there are different voices that speak to you. Some are voices of fear telling you that you are going to die in the valley. Some are voices of depression telling you that there is no hope for the future. And sometimes these negative voices, can seem to be the loudest voices that you hear. But when you're in the valley, you have to be careful about the voices you listen to because you're often in a very vulnerable state. You have to be intentional and seek out positive voices. You have to spend time with friends who believe in you, spend time with family that loves you, listen to speakers and preachers and other people who will help to uplift you. Read books that will inspire you. You have to take back your power and be intentional about getting out of the valley. And to do that, you have to listen to the right voices because, as I said, in the valley, there are so many different voices. So, number four, the valley is a place of various voices venturing through the valley.
Okay, Okay, well, sure. I like the last bit, confidence, the advice that, in order to get out of the valley, you need to surround yourself with people that will help you out of the valley. So thank you so much for joining us. As usual, it's always lovely hearing from you. And I think for a lot of people, it's always important to get this message because sometimes you may know it, but you hear from other people is completely different. Thank you so much, confidence. And we are, of course, with you next week.